Oh, hey everybody. Sorry, I was getting all my stuff together and making sure everything's together. So, the biggest complaint I hear during the summer is that people don't know how to wear makeup if they're going to be outside a lot, or if they're going to be in a lot of heat. And that is totally, like, everybody feels that way, right? The last thing we want is our makeup melting off throughout the day. It doesn't look attractive. It doesn't feel good. It is just the thing that you want to stay away from as much as humanly possible. So I wanted to give you guys some tips about, like, if you're going to be out in the sun, if you're going to be in the heat, how to make sure that your face is not going to melt, your makeup is not going to melt off throughout the day. And it's really super simple stuff. It's things that anybody can do, and just knowing them is going to make a difference in how your makeup stays over the course of a summer day, or if you're out swimming, or whatever you're doing outside. These things are really going to make a difference, right? So step one is the same as always, but I still have to say it because I got to make sure. Prime. Invest in a good primer. Get something that is going to make sure that it's going to help your makeup stay on through the day. It's also going to create a barrier between your face. So if you get oily during the summer, the primer is going to help big time. Prime is the first step, and it's super simple. Now, the next step might surprise some of you guys, but it's absolutely true. During the summer, less is more. So if you can get away with a little less makeup, that's less that can start getting heavy or melting throughout the day. One of my favorites for people who have like fairly good skin, they just need a little help, grab a great concealer. This is our Touch Skin Perfecting Concealer. And the reason why I love it so much is because, one of the reasons, is because it's water resistant, you guys. So anything that's a cream base or a little bit thicker is going to actually stay better during the summer when you're outside in the heat. So a concealer is a really great option because it has a little bit of a thicker consistency most times. This concealer isn't going to feel cakey still. It's still going to look really light on. And if you're one of those people where you don't need a lot of coverage on your skin as a whole, just dotting on concealer onto some of these areas that might need a little more is going to be plenty for you. And during the summer, that fresh face look is really, really in. So you can totally just dot a little bit of concealer onto the areas you need the most, blend a little bit, use a great brush, use your finger because your finger has great blending capabilities, and just go with a little bit of a lighter touch on it, you know? And that concealer, this concealer, is going to be water resistant. So if you're, you know, splashing around with the kids in the pool, if you're like swimming underwater for 4 hours, I'm not going to make any guarantees. But if you're splashing around with the kids at the pool, if you are just out, if you're, you know, working in the yard or something, this stuff is going to stay pretty well with sweat or water or anything because it is water resistant. So if you can get away with just that, with just using a little concealer and using a little less like heavier product, that is really going to help you. If you can't, and just stick with that, a little bit of concealer, the right concealer, water resistant, it's going to make a big difference. If you're like me and you have like kind of all over things that you want to address, then here's my tips on that. First of all, apply your foundation with a brush. A lot of us, including me, before I started my business, tend to apply foundation with our hands because it's just very easy. Using a brush is going to kind of buff the foundation out, give you a little bit more of that natural look that's so big in the summer, and it's kind of buffing it into your skin. You want to go over it a lot. And going over it a lot, what that's going to do is it's going to really give you that kind of dewy complexion that looks more natural, but it's also going to keep your product from being heavy, being thick, which is going to make it melt more quickly during the summer. So make sure you're using a really great quality brush. Use a little less product than you normally would. You don't need all this product during the summer. Like I said, that fresh face look is going to be really, really in, okay? So you've done these things. Now before, I'm going to show you kind of the best way to set a product during the summer, but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about once you have your skin evened out, your minimum amount of foundation on or concealer, whatever you can use that's the minimum during the summer, big time. Oh, by the way, I was talking about looking for water resistant products like this. both of these touch products are water resistant. So this one is also another good one if you're going to be sweating, splashing around with the kids at the pool. Something water resistant that's still light, is not going to melt on your face, and it's going to stay better, and that's what we're looking for. Now, the other thing to remember, creams. Creams are going to stay better than powders during the summer. So what does that mean? It means if you have a really great lipstick that you love, something that's kind of light with maybe a little bit of shimmer in it even if you want to, use that as your blush, because any cream is going to stay so much better than any powder. So I am just dotting, because I don't like a whole lot of color, I'm dotting a little bit of this Splash liquid lipstick on my cheek and just blending it out just to give a touch of color. And start with a tiny bit, and you can use any kind of lipstick for this. Any kind of cream is going to be really nice for this. Start with a little bit and then add more as you go until you get at the color you want for your cheeks, because it is going to stay a little better than a powder does, but it can be a little more pigmented as well. That's another really great tip for summer makeup. You want to go with lighter products that feel lighter but have higher pigments to them, because they're going to stay better. They're going to really get in there on your skin and look really nice, but they're not going to be heavy, so they're not going to melt, which is so important, right? That's what we're going for. So same thing goes for eyeshadow. I did not pull an eyeshadow out. I should have. Cream eyeshadows like our splurges are going to be really great during the summer for staying power. You can go with something that feels kind of light going on, but it's going to stay really, really well. Finally, setting. So you have a couple options. I will tell you guys, most days I grab my Behold setting spray because I love a setting spray, and I love this one. And it's just really, really fast. But if you're going to be outside and you get oily, I do in my T-zone, a setting powder is going to be awesome. So how do you do that so that you don't end up with it looking cakey or with it like, you know, gathering in one spot? You're going to get some on your brush. You're going to tap your brush. You do not want any more of a setting powder on your brush during summer months than you already have, than you absolutely have to have. And you're going to pat. Patting it on there is going to make sure that it's just really taking to the area you want to set, and it's going to keep you from wiping off the makeup you have on. Remember, we went with a minimal amount of makeup for a reason, right? We don't want it to melt. So don't go through with a brush afterwards and wipe off all the little bit of makeup you have on. Just pat a little bit. And like I said, before you get more product on there, just make sure you're just giving it a couple little taps to make sure you're getting all the extras off. Now remember, during the summer, you're going for a more fresh face look. So little things like these little, what do you call them? They're not moles. Little dots I have here, things like that. It's more okay during the summer. You want that really fresh face look. Creams like that I used on my cheek, like you can use on your eyes, are huge, and anything water resistant like our touch products is going to be really, really good for you. So if you have any questions about any of the things I've talked about, if you have a product you're wondering the best way to use it during the summer, feel free to let me know. That's what I'm here for. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope I gave you a couple great tips to try. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.